All right, let's begin then. This is the February 17th, 2021 meeting of the Fall River Traffic Board. Before I begin the meeting, I'm going to read the open meeting law. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Madam Secretary, can you take a roll call, please?
Yes. Natalie Mello,
Here.
Helen Rigo,
Here.
Sergeant Dolan,
Here.
all here.
Okay, Officer Jose Barboza is absent this month. Next would be citizen input. However, we don't have any regular citizen input. So we would move over to the approval of the meeting minutes, the January 27th, 2021 meeting minutes that we received. I'll make a motion to approve those minutes. Is there a second to those motions? For that
I'll
motion?
second it.
All right, Madam Secretary, can you do a roll call for the approval of the meeting minutes?
Yes, Helen Rigo,
Yes.
Natalie Mello,
Yes.
and Sergeant Dolan.
Yes. So the meeting minutes for the January 27th, 2021 meeting have been approved. Next up on the agenda would be curb cuts. However, we have no curb cuts this month. Sorry. So we'll move on to, there are three requests for handicap spaces. The first request is for 42 Stockton Street. I went by the address. This is the issue I have with this particular person, Madam Secretary, if you can reach out to them, is that their vehicles are still registered to their old address. They're not registered to 42 Stockton Street.
Okay,
So if they just have to update that. Other than that, they do not have any off-street parking available. So I'll make a motion that we approve this
Second.
request for a handicap spot.
Second.
Okay, I've made the motion to approve. Helen has seconded it. Is anyone opposed to approving this spot? Okay, Madam Secretary, can you take a roll call, please?
okay. Motion to approve 42 Stockton Street, Helen Rigo,
Yes.
Natalie Mello,
Yes.
and Sergeant Dolan.
Yes. So 42 Stockton Street is approved. Next on the list is 187 Rockland Street. That's about a 6-family house. There is no off-street parking available for any of the tenants there. Their paperwork is all in order, and I make a motion that we approve the handicap spot for 187 Rockland Street.
Motion to approve.
All right, I made the motion to approve. Natalie, would you
I'm
like to
sorry.
second it?
Second, yes.
I know, old habits die hard.
I know.
All right, is anyone opposed to approving 187 Rockland Street? Okay, Madam
Natalie,
Secretary, can you take a roll call, please?
Sure. Roll call for 187 Rockland Street, Helen Rigo,
yes.
Natalie Mello,
Yes.
and Sergeant Dolan.
Yes. So 187 Rockland Street is also approved. Madam Secretary, you had some input on the sign placing for that spot?
I did. I got a better photo that shows the whole front of the street, and my recommendation, I only see one entrance to that house, which is a gate that's to the left. My recommendation is that if the poles could go there, it will make it easier for the individual to just walk in through the gate. And there's a big tree, and if we put the signs there as well, the tree will not block the signs either.
Okay. And the third address is 137 Barnes Street in Fall River.
Mhm.
I went by there as well. There is no off-street parking. The only issue I have, again, is that the petitioner needs to update the address on their license. They still have their old address on their license. But I do make a motion to approve this request for the handicap parking. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Helen Rigo seconded it. Is anyone opposed to this handicap spot? Madam Secretary, can you take a roll call, please?
Yes, Natalie Mello,
Yes.
Helen Rigo,
Yes.
and Sergeant Dolan.
Yes. So 137 Barnes Street also passes. And that's it for the handicap requests. Next, under miscellaneous requests, I have a letter and a petition from residents regarding a request for a four-way stop sign at the intersection of Robeson and Langley Street. I'm going to read the request in its entirety. To whom it may concern, this letter is to serve as a formal request for a four-way stop sign to be installed at the intersection of Robeson Street and Langley Street. A number of serious accidents involving vehicles and property have occurred at this intersection in the past 18 months. A traffic study over an extended period of time would undoubtedly reveal more. Notable recent incidents: 11/20/2019, a car hit the porch and fence at 1597 Robeson. 11/21 of 2020, a car hit a parked vehicle on Robeson Street and the driver fled the scene on foot. 1/8/2021, a construction vehicle hit two cars, two fences, a fire hydrant, and two homes, condemning the home at 392 Woodlawn Street. This intersection is on a 2-mile section of Robeson Street that has no traffic lights or stop signs, stretching from President Avenue to Route 24. This results in cars traveling at a high rate of speed at all hours of the day and night. A stop sign at Langley or in the vicinity would assist in slowing down and managing traffic in this thickly settled, highly trafficked area. Langley Street is an ideal location for a four-way stop sign, as it is highly traveled and one of the few throughways to Ellsbury Street for access to the school zones at Tansy Elementary, Durfee High School, Bristol Community College, and Bishop Connolly High School. Additionally, the busy Stop and Save at 1625 Robeson Street draws many vehicles and pedestrians to the area, further contributing to the traffic. This four-way stop sign is necessary to ensure safe travel for Fall Rivers residents and guests. Thank you for your consideration. Please see the reversed side for names, signatures, and addresses of supporters of this letter. And they've CC'd the mayor's office and State Representative Carol Fiola. And then on the reverse side, I didn't count them. I'm guessing about 20 signatures from people that live right around that intersection. Now, this request is not unique because we've gotten a lot of requests from people asking to put a stop sign in order to calm traffic in their neighborhood. We had one either last month or the month before where someone was requesting we put more stop signs along Bay Street for speeders. And I cited a few traffic studies in response to that request as well. So what I've done, again, even the petitioners can do this, ask about the effectiveness in placing stop signs for slowing traffic down, or traffic calming, they call it. So the first one I have that I'm going to read was a study conducted by New York City itself, traffic headquarters of the world, perhaps. And I've highlighted some area of this that I think is pertinent to this particular request. And they refer to Reed Ewing. He's a professor at the University of Utah. And as it says here, he literally wrote the book on traffic calming. And within his book, he said, regarding stop signs, they're good for traffic control, said Ewing, of stop signs and traffic lights. They're not so good for traffic calming. In other words, they may help make traffic flow in a more orderly fashion, but not necessarily in a safer one. They don't do a lot for speeding because there's a tendency for drivers to make up for lost time. This can lead to increased speeds mid-block. Ewing did say that with enough stop signs, drivers will avoid a street altogether, reducing the number of cars, but not the danger of each one. Now, that might be enticing to the people that live on Robeson to try to stop people from going to lessen the amount of cars that travel on Robeson Street. But what that would do is put a strain on the other streets around there that were not engineered to handle that many cars. So it's also not an effective way of slowing the cars down on Robeson Street. Further along on this paper that he wrote, Schwartz said that if a stop sign doesn't seem to belong in a location, some drivers will ignore it. It may result in people crossing thinking they're fully protected when some driver thinks a stop sign doesn't belong there and drives right through, he said. Putting the wrong traffic control device in can be a mistake and sometimes a fatal mistake. I think that's all I highlighted from this New York City study. Now, the other study was the one I did reference when people requested Bay Street, and this is from Cornell University. Why are stop signs not recommended for speed control? The placement of one or more stop signs to slow traffic will often have the opposite effect. Drivers will go faster between the signs to make up for lost time. In addition to speeding, the drivers will need to accelerate and decelerate for each sign. A constant vehicle speed is generally safer for both vehicles and the other users along the roadway. So there's just two. Like I said, if anyone would like to get more research on it, you can actually just Google using stop signs for speed control. We had a similar, yes, Laura.
Oh, no, you can finish.
We had a similar request for just regarding speeding on Robeson Street last month. And as a result, I know the traffic department went out there to make sure there are enough speed limit signs there. And my officers have patrolled Robeson Street more often in an attempt to be more visible so that the motorists will see that their speed will be checked over there. It's only been a month. I don't have any data on whether or not we've been very effective yet, but based on this letter here too, I just want to let the residents of that area know that we are working on the speed control there. Laura?
We also have, and it's something that we follow, I know that the police department has it as well as myself, which is the motor vehicle and traffic laws. And it really encourages for cities and towns not to put four-way stop signs where one of the streets is a main thoroughway. It actually causes more accidents by doing that than lowering the accidents or the speeding. It's strong, and I know that Mass DOT has been in our city doing several work in our city, and when they do see a stop sign, they always tell me that sign is not, it shouldn't be there, it's not legal, because that's a main thoroughway. So we do follow that. At the same time, I also have an email from a citizen who emailed regarding this issue, and it says, please accept this letter to serve as my formal opposition of this stop sign being placed on Robinson Street at Langley Street.
She does not want one, you're saying,
Is opposed, yes.
is opposed, yes.
Is that the entirety of the letter?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so it's just, they're not citing any reason why they don't want it, they just don't want it.
Correct.
Okay. Do any other members have any input on this request for four-way stop signs?
For the last, I don't know how many years I've been on a traffic board. I remember when I started on traffic board, it was Sergeant Hoare, and he said that was totally not a good idea. And here we are 10, 15 years later, we're still, saying the same thing. It is not a good idea because of all what you have said, Sarge.
Right. I mean, I get it. I mean, if you live there, your first instinct is, let's put a stop sign there, but this way that it'll stop the cars, but it's almost counterintuitive the way it works because people resent it. They'll speed in between the stop signs. And of course, I know the residents will say, well, then give them all tickets. But we'd be there all day and you still end up with all the frustrated motorists. And so speed limits, speeding citations, speed limit signs are our ways to counter it. I mean, we don't live in an environment. We've had people asked to put speed bumps on the street, but we don't live in our neck of the woods here. You would break plows with the speed bumps, so we never put speed bumps either in neighborhoods. So the only thing I can think of is just making sure we have the stops, the speed limit signs there, and my officers enforcing the traffic laws along that stretch of the road.
And I'll be honest with you, Saj, I find a lot of people speeding. They just need to slow down. They need to take responsibility.
Right.
Well, one of the things that we can do, we did it to Robeson and Valentine. That was another intersection that was really dangerous. What we did was we did dangerous intersection signs on the both streets, north and south, east and west. And there was a tree that was kind of like blocking the stop sign that was trimmed down. And I've had a couple of the neighbors state that it has been a lot safer with that signage up. So that's maybe something that we can look to for this area, doing those signs and make sure that the visibility is very well there as well.
I would think that the petitioner is right. I would say Langley and Robeson is about the midpoint where you're going to get most of the speeding motorists. So I think if you have them, you can put up a few of those dangerous intersection signs, because Langley is probably one of the busier east-west streets that does cross Robeson over there with all the kids coming and going from school. So if you want to put up some of those dangerous intersection signs on Robeson,
Sure.
any extra signage we can do to fight this.
Yep, we can do that.
Anything else? Okay, based on what I've read and what I've said, I am going to make a motion to deny putting a four-way stop sign at Robeson and Langley.
Motion to accept. Motion to
Okay.
deny.
Well, I made the motion.
All right, I second it again.
All right, I made the motion to deny it. Helen, do you second the motion to deny it?
Yes.
Okay, is anyone? I guess I worded it wrong. Is anyone opposed to denying it? Okay, Madam Secretary, would you take a roll call, please?
Sure. Motion to deny the four-way stop sign at Langley and Robeson. Helen Rigo,
Yes.
Natalie Mello,
Yes.
and Sergeant Dolan.
Yes. So the four-way stop sign at Robeson and Langley Street, the request is denied.
And Laura is gonna look into the dangerous intersection signs to put up.
Yep.
And
So
she
there's
has
no-
already, I think,
Right.
Laura, you've already sent the traffic division down there to make sure the stop signs are, I keep saying that, the speed limit signs are all along Robeson Street.
Yes, we've already installed, we changed the 30 to 25 where it was located. And we added a couple of more where that big stretch didn't have any. We added a couple more on each side.
Great, okay. That's it for miscellaneous requests. The last thing is the handicap spaces being rescinded. Request from the traffic division to have the following handicap spaces rescinded due to individuals no longer utilizing the space because they have either moved, no longer drive, or have passed away. Robeson Street, Vale Street, and Bowen Street. I will make a motion to remove those handicap signs. Would anyone like to second that motion?
I'll second it.
Helen has seconded it. Is anyone opposed to removing the handicap signs? Madam Secretary, can you take a roll call, please?
Sure. Helen Rigo,
Yes.
Natalie Mello,
Yes.
and Sergeant Dolan.
Yes, remove those signs. And the last item on the agenda is a motion to adjourn, and I will make that
No
motion. that we
motion.
adjourn.
Not yet, please.
Okay,
I have something. Laura, I've talked to you about this before, the corner of Troy and Bedford Street. I almost got hit again just now coming here to do this meeting. There's got to be a sign or something where they're going to take the left. They're going straight up instead of taking the left. If there was a car on the right side of me, I would have been gone.
are
Well,
you saying northbound cars on Troy Street?
Going north, yes.
So that instead of just
And
taking
right
the
at
left onto
fire
Bedford,
station, right at the fire station.
Yeah.
There's got to
So
be a
sometimes you have
sign or an arrow or
two
something.
cars trying to go straight?
Yep, they go straight instead of taking their left where they want to.
well, in actuality, that street is really a one-way. So the reason why we put a white line down the middle was because traffic was backing up all the way to Pleasant Street, where they wanted to take a left and not go straight, and it was just holding up the traffic. So we did that so that the lane on the left lane is to turn left, the right lane is to go straight. But you have those people that are in a hurry, don't want to be behind the other cars, and they've done it with me where the left lane, they turn that left and they go straight up. I can put a sign, but they have to look at the sign and make sure, but you're still gonna have those people who don't want to wait and want to cut through, you know? So that's not a problem, putting a sign there with the left lane only.
Laura, are there arrows on the left lane already to turn left?
No,
That may have worn away?
No, there isn't. I
There's
think we
nothing.
did it on I think it's on the ground. It's probably faded, so,
It's
and we didn't,
faded.
well, and we didn't touch Troy because Troy is gonna be paved. So, once they pave Troy and they do the striping, I'll make sure that they do a straight arrow and a left arrow, and the signage will match those arrows.
All right, and the signs are not there right now for left turn
No.
only?
No, there isn't. There isn't.
Okay, you will be able to put the sign up?
Yes, we will. I have those. Those don't need to go into ordinance, so it'll be
All
easy.
right.
thank
So
you,
Helen,
Laura.
would you like to make a motion that they install a left turn only sign on the
Yes,
left
make a
lane?
motion that they install a left turn sign on the corner of Troy and Bedford.
I'll second that motion. Anyone opposed? Madam Secretary, will you take a roll call for that then?
Sure. To put up a left arrow for left turn only on Troy at Bedford. Helen Rego,
Yes,
Natalie Mello,
Yes.
and Sergeant Dolan.
Yes. So that motion carries.
Good job, Helen.
Any other business?
now I can make the motion to adjourn.
All right, and I will second your motion to adjourn. Anyone opposed to adjourning?
No.
Madam Secretary, will you take roll call for adjourning the meeting, please?
Motion to adjourn, Natalie Mello,
Yes.
Helen Rego,
Yes,
and Sergeant Dolan.
Yes.
everybody
This
stay
meeting is
safe.
adjourned.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody.
Bye.